review when I first got this bike, and a couple people have been asking for an update review on it. Like 8 people, so I'm gonna do one. This is the little CBR250R. This is a 2012. It's got a lot of miles on it. Let's see, 12,600 miles on it. This is one of those little Honda motors that's made to run forever. I'm going to do a little ride on it, show you 0 to 60, top speed, maybe a few other little things, and then I'll tell you what I hate about it and what I love about it. So I bought it a while ago, probably put about, I think, 3,800 miles on it or so. I have to check. The last video I showed doing the handlebar, I think I had that in there. I know I had the fender delete, which saves like 5 pounds. Getting rid of the handlebars saved a bunch of weight. The EGR delete saved more weight, so it's a little bit lighter than stock, but still, you know, mostly stock. There's no plate on it right now because I got a new bike, which is why I'm reviewing this one, because it's up for sale. I wanted to review it before it goes. So yeah, things I love about it. Gas mileage. When I redid the chain and sprockets, I went up 1 tooth on the front sprocket because I do mostly highway riding around 70, 85 miles an hour. So I went 1 tooth bigger on the front sprocket, and I average riding it about like I ride it in this video, pretty hard. I average about 70 miles per gallon, 68, 70. And that's not based on the speedometer, that's with the correction factor using GPS and everything. So I love the gas mileage, I love that they're cheap. It's about as comfortable as you can get for a bike of this style. I put the double bubble windscreen on there. Not a whole lot of air wind coverage, but you can tuck into it if you need to. The low seat height is nice, and the fact that it's so light for like pushing around a parking garage, jamming it into a bike rack, putting it in little tight spots, doesn't get much more easy to maneuver than this bike. It's so light and low. And it's fun. I mean, it's because of its light and it's, you know, flickable. You can throw it into a corner without even thinking about it. So it's very fun. I like the fact that it's slow enough where it won't kill me. But the problem with this bike is the power. They call it one of my buddies calls it the non-CBR. There's a good reason for that. There's nothing CBR about it. Maybe the looks a little bit, but it's kind of like calling a CRF 230L. Or yeah, a CRF. That's not a CRF. A CRF's a 250 or 450 or the 150R. The motor's rev characteristic isn't very exciting. It's kind of like a flat torque curve. I don't know if it's even the right word for it. A small single cylinder 250 should rev out. It should pick up towards the end. It should make its power up high. This thing, you always want to shift before the red line because the power just tapers off at the end. I think it's mostly because the cam's super lazy and this engine's designed to run forever, not to be terribly exciting. But the power definitely, as far as a commuter bike, it's great. It's much better than a Grom or, you know, the other small cheap Hondas, because you can actually go, you know, we hit 89 both ways. I've had up to 92 before, GPS indicated. So you can cruise on the highway at 80, and if you need to pass someone, you can get up to 85, 90 and get around them. But getting from 70 to 90 takes a really long time. But it is fast enough to go on just about any highway. It's just not the most comfortable at those speeds, especially in the stock configuration. Before I re-geared it, it was extremely buzzy at 80 miles an hour. This is why I had to... I also don't like the fact that it's made in Thailand. All the new cheap Hondas are made in Thailand. The Grom, the CBs, CB500 and stuff. Nothing wrong with Thailand. I just like my Hondas to be made in Japan or made in America, preferably made in Japan. The gear splits are pretty good. I wish first to second was closer for wheelies because it's really hard. I mean, I've done it a few times when I had proper gear on and shit. Gone from first to second on a wheelie, got it from first, second to third. But you've really got to be on your A game with the small amount of power this bike has. And its balance point is pretty far back, so you really got to be on the back brake to rock out a really nice wheelie. The exhaust is hideous and is extremely heavy. If you do an aftermarket exhaust system and get rid of the cat, I hear you can save like 20-something pounds. I never got around to putting the money into it, but it's definitely something I would do if I was going to keep this longer. Another complaint is the fuel pump is the noisiest thing on the face of the earth. It is the noisiest fuel pump. At idle, it's just like cack, 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 cack. And especially when you have low gas in the tank, like you don't have a full tank, that fuel pump is so dang noisy. It's pretty obnoxious. The whole engine itself, I mean, granted this one has 12,000 miles on it, it doesn't feel super silky smooth like a Honda. The transmission's very snickety, but the way it revs and the vibrations it has and stuff like that, of course it's a used bike, so who's to say how it's maintained, but I've ridden a few of these actually, and they all have a kind of a lawnmower-y feel to them, the way they rev and stuff. But I compare this to a Ninja 250, because I did ride one of those back-to-back pretty much at my buddy's. The Ninja is definitely faster. No question about it. It's a lot more fun to wheelie and stuff like that. I think the gear splits are better, but this is a lot cheaper, and the Ninja is still carbureted, which is absolutely pathetic. The fuel injection on this thing is really nice. You know, zero maintenance, fires right up, and you're never going to get the fuel economy with a carburetor. You can pick these up for $2,000. I can't think of a more, you know, reasonable commuter bike. You can't get a nice scooter for $2,000, and you can actually ride this one pretty aggressively, and it's not going to kill you. I've thrown into some corners, you know, at 80 miles an hour, and I've never had an issue with, you know, suspension catching weird or traction or anything like that. It's handles really well. It's set up awesome for how cheap it is. And riding a passenger on it's actually not too bad. I thought it'd be terrible, but the one thing this motor does make is a little bit of torque. It doesn't rev out, and you know, revving out, that's horsepower, right? Torque at high RPMs is horsepower. That's literally what horsepower is. It doesn't have any horsepower. I think it's got like 22, maybe 25 or something, but it does have some good torque. So with the passenger on it, it's not too fun on the highway because it would get blown around a lot by trucks and stuff because the bike's so light. But just like cruising around in town and stuff, I have no problem riding a passenger on it. Pretty reasonable. But yeah, if anyone wants to buy it, it's for sale.